Good morning and welcome to Lethbridge, Canada for the World Mixed Doubles Curling Championship 2017. We're down to the very last day of pool play. Teams looking to win their last games and perhaps take their place into the playoffs. My name is Sander Ervog and I'm joined by the curling princess from the US of A, Sarah Anderson. Good morning.
Good morning.
Finland plays Japan in what is a very important game in Group A. We'll see how the teams stack up here before the final session for this group. It's Latvia through at 7-0. Hungary also qualified at 5 wins, 2 losses. As you'll see, it's either Finland or Japan to pick up that third spot to come directly through. Belarus and Brazil, both at 3 and 4. Estonia, 2 and 5. Croatia at 0 and 7 will not feature in the playoffs this year. Lineup for Finland today. It's Tomi Ram Tamaki alongside Una Kausta. And then there's team coach Joseph Brown.
For Team Japan, we have Shinya Abbott with the female player Ayumi Agasawara and coached by Hiroshi Sato.
And again, just run us through the rules of the game.
In mixed doubles, teams consist of 1 female and 1 male player. At the beginning of each end, there's a pre-positioned stone for each team. The teams have 5 stones instead of the usual 8, and the games are 8 ends long with 22 minutes of thinking time. In mixed doubles, 1 player throws the first and last, and the other player throws the middle 3 rocks, but the players are actually allowed to switch positions in between ends. A key rule in mixed doubles is that you cannot take out a rock until the 4th played stone. And once a game, each team has the option to use a power play when they have the hammer.
Well, thank you very much, Sarah. And looks like we are very close to getting this game underway. You'll see those stones lined up on the center line here. Finland will play the red stones, Japan the yellow. And since it's Finland's stone to be in the back 4, we know that Japan will start. Finland outdrawing the Japanese team in the draw shot challenge for the hammer.
Yes, Finland had a very good LSD today, measuring up to only 19.3 centimeters.
Ayumi Ogasawara will throw the first stone here. Picked up a great win against Estonia yesterday to keep their playoff hopes alive.
Good weight there, just overcurled a bit.
Una Kausta fires out the hack very quickly. No need to spend too much time, you know what you're doing. 22 minutes of thinking time is given to each of the teams to play 8 ends of mixed doubles curling, which is plenty, but definitely means you need to think on your feet. Makes for a fast-paced game as we have a look at Shinya Abbott with his very stylish lift or backswing delivery. Has coached a number of Japanese teams through the years at the Olympics and a whole bunch of other championships. He's probably seen more curling than most.
And with his partner, also very experienced.
Here is Tomi Ram Tamaki We will see this interesting sweeping technique of his. Gets to that yellow and pushes it to the back. Gives their shot stone some backing there. Not terrible.
Little wave there.
Yeah, you'll see that sweeping technique employed by Finland. I made an educated guess of the theory last time we had Finland on the show. And it's all about the carving, the structures you make in the ice with the pads, something we saw a lot of last year with the whole controversy. Sweepers still use that theory, thinking that the pads leave scratches in the ice. You sweep with the curl, you'll get a bit more finish. You sweep against the grain, so to speak. You can keep the rock straight. And I believe what Finland is thinking is, if they're just doing it with a lot of pressure, they'll put those scores in the ice, and you'll get that effect without necessarily heating up the ice, which then again decreases the friction and adds weight to your stone as well, which might just equalize the curl you get. So especially for getting the finish, you'll see the Finns use that technique.
Yeah, very interesting. As you said, he likes to test things out.
Yeah, he's very experimental, and I'm sure if they feel like using it, it's had to prove some results. Obviously, always with testing, it's I mean, we're talking maybe an inch here and there, so it's very hard to get precise results. But in theory, it doesn't sound all that bad. You never know. A year from now, maybe everyone does the same.
It's interesting how those trends catch on when you see a high-level team doing something. You find people go home and test it out for themselves.
That was definitely a case last year. Well, now every team will use the same fabric for their brush heads from the same roll, and I've heard from pretty much every curling player this season that they're very happy with how the World Curling Federation dealt with the situation, and have given all the teams a fair tool to use. They're still fairly effective for weight and just enough for line. And we're just back to that good old game of curling that we love. See Japan really controlling the front of the house here, but it is Finland lying a couple.
Jos me suoja laitetaan, niin meidän pitää suojata tätä linjaa. Koska välistä ne ei enää pääse tonne. Ne pääsee kyllä näin päin.
If they go for a tap here with the outturn, it would open up the path for Japan to draw one in there.
Oma saisi jäämään tohon, niin se olisi pelikivi sit, jos ne tulee tonne, sillä voisi päästä ampumaan.
Two different calls discussing here. I think they were looking to maybe just freeze it right in the pocket. That way Japan wouldn't be able to tap any of the yellows up. And that seems to be the call here.
Probably try to force them then to do the in-turn draw.
Yeah, you can see there's no way for Japan to play the tap on the in-turn with those two yellows staggered in the top of the 12-foot. They would have to come all the way around. There is enough finish though that that shot could be available. As you see, Wunakausa's broom coming out very wide. Something we do see is when players take a little bit more ice and they throw it a little more out in the weeds, they tend to catch just a little more bite in the pebble, maybe a tad of the frost, and you do get some extra curl, even though you take more ice.
Even with a guard here, that'll be fine.
You'll see Ram Tamaki throwing some extra rotation here to try and keep this straight.
I think that's very nice placement for them.
Se kulkee hyvin tuollainen kierteen.
Might have just been the guard they were throwing, or just left it there because they didn't quite get the line for the freeze.
But now if Japan sinks one in there good, they might be in a bit of trouble trying to get that one out.
Yeah, that is the risk here. But if Ogasawara doesn't make the freeze here, ever come up short or heavy, Finland might just have a chance to score 3, so bit of a risk by Finland. We'll see if Ayumi Ogasawara can kill the end here. Last stone for them, facing 2. Looks pretty close for now. See if it comes down, looking just a little bit hot at the moment. And it will slip beyond the tee line. And Finland does lie 2 and will have that chance to score 3. So the risk paying off for them. Unikausta already down by the hack.
Yep, just need to follow down the Japanese rock there. They just learned the line and have draw with backing from the Japanese rock there.
Pesän ulkolaidasta.
Last stone here for Team Finland. Going with the in-turn draw.
You'd love to make these shots for the extra point. Scoring 2 is great, but if you could ever execute, pick up 3, that would just be peachy. But this one also heavy here. So it will only be the 2 for Finland. Still a decent start. It's one of those cases where Finland's a little disappointed not to score their 3. Japan is delighted to only give up 2. And that's the score after 1 end of play.
Oliko se aikaa sille, se oli vaan kova. Joo. Se ei sillä näköjään ei nousta sieltä.
Se on ollut ehkä siitä puolivälistä oikea voima siihen päästä.
Second end is underway. Finland looking pretty good with a score of 2 in the first end. And I'd like to ask you, Sarah, about what this game means for the teams.
Yeah, very big game here. If Japan wins this game, it will cause a tiebreaker between Finland and Japan. And that'll be later tonight. But if Finland wins it, then they'll be qualified for playoffs. So quite the pressure game here for both teams. Japan trying to stay alive. Japan just moving Finland's rock to the back 4 there. Tommy coming with the in-turn draw, trying to place it top button. Important to be in front of the tee line here. pocket if there's an open take on a pair of pants. But how about you? Any other terms for it?
Well, in Norway we might call it a couch. Sometimes to be specific, we'll call it like a sofa from IKEA.
I'd like to hear one of these teams call it out down the sheet. Oh, I think we have a sofa here.
Where we end up using quite a lot in mixed doubles. There's always a pocket for teams to draw into. Of course, what we mean by that is one of them being Keely Brown, 2014 World Junior Champion with Kelsey Rock. He had the time and coming around, playing the angle tap here, very nicely played. Sits for shot stone here. Not too thrilled here, Hiroshi Sato, keeping calm for now. You wonder just if he might be a little nervous today, knowing how much is at stake. Himself, of course, very experienced players. Was one of the originals for Team Japan, participating at the first Olympics in 1998 at home in Nagano, Japan.
Just overswept that a little bit.
14-8.
Yeah, it's kind of a shot that it looks good because they're shot stone, but leaves the button open for Japan. Is starting to shrink the scoring area for Japan, though. It could be hard for them to score more than 2 here with only the 2 rocks coming up. So important for Abbott to not just tap it up completely frozen, but try and make a tap here and remove that back red, so they can possibly move up the shot stone here on their next one for a score of 2.
Yep, coming with a bit more weight here than his previous shot.
So you'll see that back red be moved to the back 12. It means that the 2 reds in the back 4 might be moved up now in the next one, something Finland needs to think about.
Finland motioning to that double there on the yellows.
Well, this is not an easy shot.
Very flat.
It's almost like it might be easier to make this one around the horn, catching the yellow thin coming off your red stone on the left-hand side of the forefoot, because coming at it directly, your shooter will usually just drag the shot stone down towards the second shot. It might just stick around. You're gonna have to throw this with quite some weight.
And that back red might just jam on the yellow in the back 8, removing all 3 yellows there.
See how this works out. Could be a tad risky. Could be a bit unlucky. Sounds a bit wide at the moment. Just going to roll in for a second shot. That's not too bad there, I think. That's probably going to eliminate a multiple score. That's probably
Yeah, nice outcome there.
It's probably the best they could do, I think. Yes, she had to catch it thinner for the double, but not sure if she would have enough momentum there to kick it out sideways. It's a bit of a gridlock in the forefoot here. See if there is enough room for Ayumi Ogasawara to maybe play a tap on her own yellow here and see if she can roll the shooter an inch for second shot. Looks pretty tough. I think she would need to come down onto her own yellow here. to be close, but this one hanging out there, catching the reds. So 1 yellow for Japan. Finland doing their job so far, scoring 2 in the first, keeping Japan to the single point. So it is 2-1 for Finland. After 2 ends of play, we have 6 more to go. Ayumi Ogasawara has made it to 3 Olympics in the women's play. Looking for a chance to qualify for the World Mixed Doubles, or rather the Mixed Doubles at the Olympics next year. Of course, that will be the first time Mixed Doubles will feature at the Winter Olympic Games. It'd be fun to be participate in the very first one, wouldn't it?
Yeah, quite the experience. I see that a lot of teams here have upped their game since it has been an official Olympic sport now. It's interesting to see how Worlds has changed in the last couple of years.
Is there any special aspect of the game the players have improved in mixed doubles, you think, over the last years?
Yes, I think we discussed this in another game, but it seems like the runbacks and hits have become more accurate and precise rather than just focusing on the typical draw to the pin. They've just got a better versatile shots now, trying to really up their game and execution here in mixed doubles.
Yeah, I have to agree. We've seen not even just better run backs this week, but more of them now that teams have it in their arsenal. You can bring it out when needed, and I often see teams that when they throw a couple of bad rocks to start with, and try and open things up and salvage the end. Of course, you're not allowed to hit right away in mixed doubles curling. You're going to have to wait till the 4th thrown stone, which would be this one, but Finland's wanting to come around. Could have played the peel on the guards if they wanted to. Actually, wouldn't have been too terrible of a call to play the double on the L's and open things up a little bit, but Ram Tamaki making a very nice draw onto the yellow here.
Shinya just gonna come and try to follow that draw down through that port. Adding to the center guards, Tommy is ignoring them and gonna come and try to put one on top of the one he just threw. It'd be nice to get buried and come top 4 here. Definitely the room for error is on the light side on this shot. Don't want to slide too deep here.
Slaan. Jap. Jap. Voima vaan.
Very nice shot here. Perfect.
15,5.
So again, the aggressive call from Finland paying off here. Gets a mistake from Japan. And then they're just going to pounce on it. Makes a perfect draw around. And it's Japan having to play the upweight shot instead. They're going to look to throw the run back here.
Looks to be lined up pretty well here for Japan. But because Finland locked that on so well, they might stick around.
See if that back one goes as well. Big weight from Abbott.
Yeah. Yeah. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
1, 2. Oh, unfortunate to jam both the reds here. But it is Japan lying shot here, so good outcome. And leaves 3 center guards as a triangle up there. So if they were put a good shot around those guards, it could be hard for Finland to remove. So really important for Ram Tamaki to put this top of the forefoot.
Just saw him throw that peach there.
So with the high frequency sweeping, we learned that it's a bit light for weight from Ram Tamaki. And that's to heat up the ice and decrease the friction. It does come up a few inches too short. Japan will have 2 teams at the Olympic Games next year, with both the men's team and the women's team qualifying for their competitions. Fun to see team of Yosuke Morozumi make it to the Olympics. They've been working hard at it for many years. And actually placing 4th overall with the Olympic points over the 2 last World Championships. It's this draw just going to get there for Japan to lie to.
Nice sweep there.
And of course, those guards up front, no double available for Finland. We're just going to have to draw here, facing 2. This is a shot that can really turn a game around. A miss by Kausta. Japan steals 2. All of a sudden they're in the lead, so real important shot here for Una.
Sweeping for line here.
And now just a little bit heavy, so hoping to rub off the red. Pretty good save there by Una Kausta and Ram Tamaki. And now they're looking if they maybe scored 2.
Wow.
One for sure.
They're going to measure. That's pretty incredible. Well, fortunate if they scored 2 here. That definitely wasn't the plan. You're just drawing for 1.
sehän on bonusta, jos tuli
if I'm Finland, I'd say, well, we'll take it if we can get it.
Little bonus there.
And that's got to feel devastating to Japan if that measure ever comes up in Finland's favor. Felt like they had a pretty good grip of that end and a good draw from Ogasawara to sit two. Was hoping for that force.
Yeah, it'd be quite the turn of points here.
So we'll see the dial on this measurement tool from the umpire. If you ever have a peek at it. Moving up till just past the 6. Finland is a red stone. Now to the Japanese counter. Past the 6 as well.
Very close.
It looked very close.
Asking for a remeasure there.
Yeah. I can see why. Just wanting a better look. So you can see 6 and one of those little marks there. And it goes to 6 and just past the first mark, I think.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell how big the differential was there, but a millimeter perhaps. It's pretty tight. Finland almost lucky to score 2 there, but Japan gets off the hook with just the force. So 3-1 after 3 ends of play.
Suunta hyvä. Suunta hyvä, tosi hyvä.
Finland will start this 4th end. It's 3-1 for the Finns. After a very close measure in the 3rd end. And you might be sitting back home thinking, well, what if those 2 stones were absolutely equal? Well, actually what happens then is the stones will cancel each other out. And it would just be the 1 still for Finland. Which is interesting if you only had 2 rocks in the house. And they would be the same. I believe they end up as a blank.
Yes, I agree. That's what I think the rule is. Don't see it too often, though.
Extremely rare, and that came pretty close to it. A big mistake from Ogasawara. Not keeping the shooter top of the house. Again, just creating a wall in the back 4, allowing Finland to take control. It's a bit tough mixed doubles. If you just slip behind the tee line, this is a bit of a disaster. But if you keep it a couple of feet too short, it's almost like a guard for the other team, especially with so much curl in the ice as we've had this week. Of course, excellent playing conditions for mixed doubles curling. Sits right on the tee line here, Tommy. But maybe a touch too deep, still allowing Japan to get to the button here.
With only having the 5 rocks instead of the usual 8, like in men's and women's curling, this makes every shot just that more important. So having a miss or a 0 is very crucial for your team.
And sometimes only one good freeze could save an whole end.
We've seen a few of those this week.
Okei.
Etupuna!
Jap! Jap! Kova! Kova! Tosi kova!
Hard on the sweep here.
So take a look at some of the other scores in the ATB Center, Sarah.
Have some close games going on. China is beating Poland 3-1. Israel and Korea are tied 4-4. Sweden is beating the Netherlands 3-1. And Germany is losing to England 3-2.
China already qualified. Poland doesn't have very much to play for.
Of course, on our sheet, it's a very important game, as we discussed before. It is a chance to qualify or have a tiebreaker tonight, so quite the big game here over in sheet A.
Korea also qualified, so their game against Israel won't matter all that much. Israel also not able to get to the playoffs this year. Sweden, on the other hand, they have a pretty important game. Currently at 4 wins, 2 losses, behind Korea and China in Group C. Could see Austria come up tied with them for a tiebreaker, as Austria play Australia this afternoon. The two countries that are sometimes confused. There's not too many kangaroos in the Alps.
Finland here, trying to lay 2 after this shot's over. With the in-turn hit.
Just to mention the last game out there, Germany, England, also neither of those teams will be able to qualify. Maybe the toughest group here this week, Group T, USA, Canada, and the Czech Republic, all coming through there. Very nice shot. Doubles the L's out. And with only 2 shots left for Japan. That's that makes it pretty hard for them to score more than 2 anyway. And what happens if you blank an end here?
If a team blanks an end here in mixed doubles, they actually lose the hammer, so they're almost just forced to take their 1 instead of blanking the hammer in usual men's and women's curling when you got to keep it for the next end. So Japan definitely going to still try to score their 2 here, going with the in-turn hit.
Gets a bit of a hit and roll. Stays partially open, but there's a redstone at the back of the 8-foot. Could prove a nuisance for Finland. Might just see them play the safe and peel it out.
Yeah, they'd hate to jam on that back 8 rock.
They'll get the force either way here, even if they make the double and spilled her back one. So just make sure that yellow one goes. They'll force Japan to take their one, and Finland will get the hammer back with a 1-point lead.
Calling Una on right away.
Getting close to the guard, but we'll get it past, jams it, and like mentioned, even if she plays that doubler and rolls out, mission accomplished for Finland, as Japan will have to just draw for their single point.
Yep, nice shot there by Team Finland.
Of course, if you ever keep that red stone in the back eight, there's a slight chance you might see a miss from Ogasawara. So making this shot just a little bit easier.
Läpihän on niinku meille ihan jees.
Having to come just a touch wider, with the guards having been moved up here. Last stone, fourth end. Just hit the paint. Slight panic in Ayumi's voice, but no problems. Abbott brings it into the forfeit. Another single for Japan, and that is the halftime point. Finland will lead at 3-2 as the teams take a 5-minute break, a chance to have a snack and talk to their coach. We'll also take a short break, but we'll be back with some highlights before the fifth end. First end. Finland plays Japan. It's Una Costa on the end turn, looking to score 3. but failing to execute for the extra point. Still 2 for Finland, good start. In the second end, you can see the Japanese shots pretty much in the gridlock as Ayumi Ogasawara tries to get in there for 2, but comes up a little high for line. Scores their single, trails by 1. Finland scores a single point in the third end. And when we get to the fourth end, it's a draw to the forfeit to score 1. And Japan will trail by 1, playing Suomi as the teams take 5. As Finland is called and finish. That are the percentages. 78% for Finland, 70 for Japan. Rings true, I think. Finland being a little more accurate than Japan so far through 4 ends, and the scoreboard does show that. They have hammer and a 1-point lead as we are just about to start the 5th end. See some of the Japanese flags. Nippon, as Japan's called in Japanese. So in other words, it's Nippon playing Suomi.
Yeah, I have a few fans out in the crowd on this early morning draw today.
Ayumi Ogasawara needs to step up her game alongside Abbott to turn this game around. Last chance for them to try and get to the Olympics. Like we have said, if they win here, they'll play Finland again in a tiebreaker tonight. If they lose, they're out.
Nice way to start the second half with that draw to the top button.
Really important game for Finland as well. Picked up 6 points last year, so not looking too bad. But they would probably need to pick up a few more, with only the 7 spots available in mixed doubles curling, with the last spot going to host nation Korea. Unlike the team competitions, the men's and women's competitions, where they have 10 teams and the 2 last spots are played for in the Olympic qualifying event, which will be taking place in Pilsen, Czech Republic, in December. This is the only chance for mixed doubles teams to get there.
Might feel a little bit extra pressure here this week because of it.
It's fun. We might see some new nations make it to the stage for the Olympic Games through this discipline. At the moment, it's Russia, China, United States, Scotland, and Canada scoring the most points from last year. The top 5. All of those teams having featured at the Olympics at some point.
Tommy here with the out-turn draw. On it hard here for line. Looking for the in-turn tap here for Japan.
Does tap it up here. Finds a pretty good spot.
Tää vaan täytyy saada takaa pois. Sen jälkeen meillä on tossa pelikivi.
Finland does have the last on advantage here, so
joka ite jää tähän.
looking for a chance to score 2 or more.
11.
12. Max. 12.
Very hard to get that yellow shot stone out of the forefoot here. So a bit of a setup shot from Ram Tamaki. Will play the tap on that top red onto the yellow, and then on the yellow shot onto the red stone back 4. Tap that further back. That way, just freeing up the yellow to be removed later.
Important shot here for Team Finland.
Voima hyvä!
Jap! Ja! Kova! 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 Kova!
Oh, curls a bit too much here. Japan still lying 1. Chance to come in again.
No okei, olisi hiljainen voimakin.
With quite the web spun around the back of the 4.
Yes, if they can throw in here top forefoot, Finland's in some trouble.
You can see the boys up on the bench. There's J.D. Lin on the left. A little cold, perhaps. It's not the warmest arena. J.D. Lin, a very young coach. Coached Charlie Thomas's team when they played the World Juniors back in 2007 to a gold. He was only 21, just aged out of juniors himself, and then moved to Japan. He's been there for some years now. Been doing a good job.
Nice shot.
Yeah, pretty good there. It's going to be hard to remove. I'm going to guess we'll see some big weight from Ram Tamaki on the next one. It's just my first little hunch.
Yeah, it'd be good if they could get some rocks moving here. Change this setup.
Mietitäänpäs nyt. Jos me saatais tohon semmonen voima, joka ottaa tän irti, niin meillä olisi tossa kivi. Ne ei voi suojata molempia puolia.
Sekin on totta.
Jos me tullaan tolla, meillä on tossa kivi, niillä on tupla tosta noin.
Tullaan täältä.
Tullaan sieltä. Se vaan täytyy olla tosi läheltä suojaa.
Joo.
Sanotaan, että marginaali melkein tavaa suojan. Ja sitten ihan vaan tämmönen hakkivoima.
Ehkä tosta.
Joo.
So not going to throw the bullet here.
Tääkin on ok vielä.
Gonna make sure his shooter stays in a usable spot. So just coming down onto the yellows here, I think. Trying to tap things up, stay on top.
Probably see about hack weight here from him.
I think you want to get to that yellow stone, throw as much weight as you can, but still get to nose. Taking quite some ice though. Again, probably more important to stay on top here than get things moving.
Seeing that sweeping technique technique again, trying to get the sweep to curl.
Well, it does shuffle the stones a little bit. Sits on top there. A little bit of less backing for the yellows. We'll see how the angles look.
Se on ihan keskellä sitä, mutta...
Well, you never know. Those yellows aren't quite as safe anymore.
あれでも2点はないよね。
ないと思う。
見て。
いや、よっぽどだよ。
ね。
でも狙ってくるかもね。
うん。
当たってあっち下がって抜ければあるもんね。
こういう
Yep,
形で。
Japan can't guard everything here.
突っ込む？
ああ、ここでも悪くないけど。
Looking at a draw to the top four. Looks pretty good. Just corner freeze the second shot, or even slide it right through and into the pocket.
ここで1、2、3、4になるのが一番怖い。
ここは？
Could be a timeout situation too. Spending a bit of time here.
If they corner freeze there on the top forefoot, it might take away the run, the outturn run to the yellow, and the in-turn hit on the red to push that yellow out the back. So, very precise here. Big shot for Ayumi.
Looks pretty close here. Does get the corner freeze. I think that's going to work out pretty well.
Käytännössä tää kivi osuu tähän väkisin, eli tää me menetetään. Eli meillä on heitto yhteen. Ellei sitä tää satu ton kautta jotenkin tulemaan näin. Niin. 8, 7,5.
Joo. Kumpi?
7,5.
Okei.
Down to the last stone here of the fifth end. You'll notice how every single stone is in play. This will be the first takeout of the game, or the ends rather. It's an angled raise from Onakausta. Only to score the single point here.
Hey! Hey! Hey!
Looks pretty close. Just through the hole. There we go. Very nicely played by Onakausta. 1 for Finland, so they will lead it 4-2 after 5 ends of play here. 3 ends to go in this very important game for both teams in the chase for Olympic points.
Alright. Ne ottaa tähän PP. Niin ja tilanne on, me johdetaan 2. Niin otetaanko puolustava taktiikka tähän? Otetaan. Se on yleensä tuottanut kaikista.
some of the more interesting rules to have come into the mixed doubles game over the past couple of years is the power play. And we'll see Japan use that here, which means they will be able to move the center guard over to the corner. And what good does that do for a team, Sarah?
Well, we've seen a few other outcomes this week, but the idea of the power play is to give the team using it a chance to score multiples, either 2 or 3. Bringing play outside of the center and spreading their scoring zone by already having one in the 8-foot with a corner guard on top. You see Japan here coming with the out-turn draw, trying to freeze on the one they have in the house already.
Yep, looked like the tick shot was attempted by Unakausta. Didn't quite make it. Guard was replaced. Japan comes around. So this is pretty much a perfect setup for a multiple score for Japan.
Very nice draw there by Japan to start off their end.
Kind of feel like if that tick is made, it's hard to score more than 2, but right now there's a 3 in the cards for Team Japan. If they play the cards right, that is. Bit of a spinner again from Tomi Ram Tamaki, looking for the tick shot. Does a pretty good job of it. Takes it to the center line. Opens up those yellows. So they'll have a chance to play a double on those if the guard doesn't come off for Japan. So you'll see the guard thrown by Japan. Finland's probably going to peel, maybe run it back. And if they don't get contact with the yellows, you might see Finland having to take the risk to come around the center guard. So that could be the savior for them.
This guard's looking pretty good.
Pretty perfect. Unakausta. I wonder if she's playing the run back here. Seemed to be pretty clear with the broom gesture. Outplayed shot from Tomi Ram Tamaki. Finnish has always been known for throwing the upweights. 1. And that's all he's going to get.
Did roll for a corner on their side.
Japan's probably just going to guard the yellows again, though. So this shot's definitely more about line than weight. For weight, you have a bit of wiggle room. It's all about putting this right in front of the yellows. This one coming up a bit shorter. I think he gets there in the end.
Yep, like you said, line is the most important part here. Might have not curled enough.
Yeah, it does show a bit of the outside here. We'll see if Ram Tamaki can see enough to make the double. It might just be enough to pick the top yellow, at least forcing Japan to play another draw to come around. Sounds close. 1, 2, there we go.
Perfect.
The double was on indeed. And that slight mistake from Abbott kills the end, at least for the 3. Having to score with their 2 last rocks here. But definitely some guards in play.
Yep, gonna see them try to hide around these corner guards now, motioning to go around Finland's red corner guard. Changing up the path a little. Have a few options here of where to come.
Voidaan miettiä sitä, että jos me saataisiin hyvän taakse, niin kierretään vaan itsekin taakse.
And decided back onto the path that they had thrown that original first out turn draw on.
あれここら辺にあるから。いいよ、ラインだけ。ちょっとあるよ。
Even with having their own corner guard so high, I like this call. Because if they did come around one of the other reds, you'd probably see Team Finland running back their own red into the house.
But this comes so deep, though, with that guard being so long. You have to think that Finland has a chance to come after it.
Definitely with how it's been curling. Probably seen that same in-turn hit. Possibly.
Other option could just be to play the freeze, come after it with the draw.
Halutaanko oma jäämään? Jos halutaan, niin sit pitää ottaa joku 9.
Ja se näkyy noin puolet. Näkyy noin puolet.
The hit's kind of like a hit or miss, I guess. In these situations, you could play a draw. If you come up with short, at least it's tougher for Japan to get there too. But this could be just an easier shot. A bit more controlled weight. Can't see quite as much of the yellow as Ram Tamaki could on the double. I think Kaustas might have thrown this one a tad wide. And it's not going to get there. So as mentioned, hit or miss. And with that miss, leaves a pretty easy shot for 2 for Japan to tie the game. Just maybe a little too much inside out there on release. Or maybe just slid a bit wide. Sometimes you're just a bit afraid of catching the guard.
Yeah, not ideal there for Team Finland. They were looking very good to forcing Japan to their 1 here in the power play. Be interesting to see if Team Finland's going to use their power play right back in the next end.
Last stone here. Ayumi Ogasawara hasn't thrown this line, but Abe just threw it, so they should have been able to communicate what the speed is coming down this path. Abe just doing some controlled sweeping here to bring this one into the house for 2. So a bit of a nail biter on her hands here as Japan will tie the game at 4 each after 6 ends of play. 2 more exciting ends of curling left.
That side. Pelataan hyvä pallo.
You called it, Sarah, saying Finland would probably use their power play in the 7th end, and they will.
Interesting to see maybe the different strategies going on in
斜めに来てるから
for the switching roles here. Japan throwing up that center guard instead of the tick like how Team Finland attempted.
Yeah, just maybe feeling if they play the tick, they might just give up an easy 2.
Suunta hyvä.
Thinking they'd rather force Finland to score their 1 or even steal here.
Tilaa.
Trying to bring the play back to the center line. Of course, bringing the
Suunta
play
hyvä.
back to the forefoot usually allows less room to score for the team with last on advantage. As you see this draw coming up just a little bit deep, Japan rather, is probably going to freeze it.
頭で
Just to kind of lock it in.
頭は
Japan successfully bringing play to the center now with Finland using that center guard.
Yeah, Finland was hoping to keep that draw just a little higher. If you put that top 8 and Japan freezes onto it, then there's still quite a bit of room to get in your second shot.
ラインだけ
If Abbott can make a good freeze here, Finland would have to try and move the yellow at some point.
Yeah, it might be hard to get that red counter on the wing to count with
ちょっと割れる
Japan making a freeze here. Switching turns here now with an out turn draw to this little pile.
Yeah, probably looking to keep this on the corner of the yellow. Trying to angle that yellow stone away from the shot stone. It's a bit of a setup shot.
Paljonko tökkää?
Yep, playing the out turn here is definitely easier for them to keep the red rock on the side of the yellow they want, but might be over curling.
Nousi paljon. 15.
Not horrible to move that yellow off the center line, but not what they were looking for.
ここはダメなんだこここれよりも強ければいいと思うんだけどこっちから行こうこっちから行こう曲がりきったら言ってこれちょっと遅い A はここ
Japan here is going to try to fully bury under that center guard and just corner freeze on the yellow they have, so that if Finland does try to hit them, it would be jamming on the red one on the button.
Sillä että heittokivi jää tuohon kiinni. Meillä on silloin 1 ja hyvä ratsu siinä.
With undercurling that rock there, does give Finland a chance.
Hetkinen. Katsotaan, päästäisikö
Try to get these yellows moving.
Ei me saada tota pois. Tullaan vaan tohon. Vähän tökätään.
Millä voimassa tuut?
Haakkivoima.
The Finland Curling Association has 10 designated curling rinks in their country with just about 700 registered curlers.
Pientä. Jep! Jep! Kova!
This one might just be over curling too.
Matka, ja. Jatka asumasta.
Tick, tick, and sits for a guard.
Joo. Nouski ihan pöyhkänä. 13-6.
Team Japan signaling for their timeout here.
We'll see Hiroshi Sato have a little conversation with J.D. Lin on the bench here, so we'll have not only a third opinion, but
アングルはダブルまだ残って
two opinions coming from the bench.
そこからちょっと押してもいいしキー
There's a double on the yellows as it lies, so you're gonna have to do something with it. Either change the angle or guard it.
ここにあるのがさ、後ろ抜けてくるからとしてこれからでもしいったら頑張るからですね。
ちょっとこっち肩をかさらにダブル
Hiroshi Sato making his way to his team.
まだこれも生きてくるなければ
ワンツーないのか。
ワン
あ、そっちがワンか。
ちょっとアングルも良くないから
そうだね。何考えた？
一番あるとしたらどうだ、
ここでもいいと思う
これをこっちでこうしてこうかな。
そうだね。
まだ
まっすぐ置けてたらいいね。この前が。
これの
これが動いたとしても、
こっち側に少し入ってればだいぶ
それでもいいね。
でこれちょっとずらしてもいいよね多分速いの投げるからさ次
ここだったらさ、もしキャンってやったらそっち巻き込むかもしれない。
ここでもいいね
まっすぐでも悪くない。
これ割れてここにフリーズになっても悪くないしここ
ちょっと当たるぐらいでこれ下がってここにまっすぐになれば一番いい。
Not always so easy being a coach, coming out for timeout when the play is in the away end. It's kind of hard to see how things are lying from the coach's bench. I think the call here is looks like either the freeze on the yellow or trying to tap the yellows up a little bit, so you'll see the yellow second shot. Just move to the side, and then they might try and line up the shooter and the top yellow onto the red.
Yep, I think they're indicating to be just off nose of their top yellow rock.
Looks to be a tap here.
Really need to sweep hard here.
Needs to get it past the guard. And just a bit of a tick where it's going to end up. Well, that's not perfect. Leaves that double on the two stones in the forfeit. See if they can play that double without removing their own shot stone here. Sometimes all the screaming in the world won't help you.
Katon tarkkaan sen osun. Vähän heittämään, että jos me osutaan tohon, niin keltaiset lähtee. Siis nää kaksi. Jos nousee vähän päin, niin lähtee takakivikin, mut sit heittokivi jää tohon, niin ottaa sen pois. Yritetään osua tähän poskeen.
Just trying to work out how much they need to hit here to not remove their own red. Now, if they catch the yellow pretty thin, you might see it roll off the stone just thrown by Japan. The shooter could start spinning up and out. See how far it goes. I think it'd be hard to remove all three here.
Definitely. Gonna see a lot of weight here. Trying to get them moving.
Could get all three going, but not sure if you'll keep the shooter in play if you do. But still, it would still be pretty good. Maybe the best. It'll be sitting two for sure. Costa wanting a sweep there, but I think that actually had to curl a bit. Caught the top yellow first. Just catching the wrong yellow. Does get two yellows going. Just wanted that one to curl a couple more inches. Come off the second yellow instead. We'll see the female comparison today. Ogasawara only playing draws, doing well with them as well. 62% for Ona Costa. Couple of missed shots. Remember, could have played that draw to score 3 in the first end. Only got the 2. Missed the hit in the 6th end there. Gave Japan the chance to tie up the game. Couple of mistakes on her part. Last stone in the end for Japan. And what is Finland's power play end? Still 2 reds in there. Do not want to leave a double for Una Costa.
Needs a curl.
Yeah, hanging on the guard. Just going to be past it. I think it was a pretty good shot.
Yeah, nice placement there.
If that ever curls half a rock less, there's the double. But this one will just get slightly tuck underneath the guard. Ogasawara looking a little cold.
Cold but happy about that shot, I think.
Tämä linja on tämmönen, niin jos me tullaan esimerkiksi jollain 10 voimalla, niin me ei pystytä osua tähän ulkoposkeen mitenkään. Et toi pelastaa meidät, ja sit jos se nousee liikaa, niin toi pelastaa.
Trying to figure out if there's a shot for 2 here.
10 voima olisi hyvin turvallinen.
Okay.
Can you ever get to the inside here for 2?
That guard is making it tough. Trying to, as you saw, Ayumi just got by that guard and overcurled past the center line. Might try to come with a little bit more weight here and just tap that yellow. Maybe sit 2. It's going to be pretty close.
Yeah, tough one. Just back 4 weight here, back 8. Try and get to the inside of the yellow. Finland could score 2. You ever miss it though? Could give up a steal here.
Yep.
If you missed it on the high side.
Yep.
It's never good right when you release and have your skipper call sweep.
Hey.
And this will overcurl and catch that stone just thrown by Ogasawara. 1 for Finland. Still a very tight game here. Just the 1 point deficit. Japan making a real good comeback here in the second half. Trailing by 1, but they'll have hammer. for the 8th end, as we'll be back in just a few moments.
Laitetaan siihen etu tommonen.
Etutee! Etutee!
Tilaa! Suunta hyvä!
Well, you can definitely feel the tension in the ATB Center here. If you're just joining us, my question is, where have you been? It's been an exciting game. Finland plays Japan for a playoff spot here. If Finland wins, they are through. Japan wins, these teams will meet again in tiebreaker tonight. You're listening to myself, Sander Ulvåg. I'm joined by American superstar Sarah Anderson.
Good morning. It's been quite the tight game here. Lots on the line for these countries. Finland catching a break there.
Yeah, that could be all it takes. A couple of stones and behind the tee line. Important for Ram Tamaki to keep this in front of the tee line here.
Metri!
Metri hyvä, suunta
Nousee!
hyvä. Jap. Suunta hyvä. Tuo. Hyvä heitto.
Ayumi motioning for the double peel here, maybe running it into the forefoot. Could get all three.
Oof. Bad break.
Keskisuoja.
Joo.
Bit of a jamming session, but not the nice one with the guitar and drums. Both red. Stick around, so.
Finland gonna probably try to replace their center guard here.
Yeah, it is Japan with last stone. At least they got to open things up here.
And they are sitting one still.
Yeah, Finland could just peel the yellow shot stone here.
Suoraan jos jotain.
Then Japan could play the corner freeze around the corner. Seems like Finland just want to keep the play along the center line just for a little bit longer.
Okay.
Pretty high guard there.
Joo.
Yeah, that, I think that really needed to be a little closer to the house. It's a pretty aggressive call.
Yep, with how much it's curling, that guard almost doesn't even come into play.
If you peel the yellow there, yes, Japan might play the corner freeze. It'd be hard to remove, but now we are allowing Japan a chance to draw and sit too. I'd be pretty happy to force Japan to their one here, take the game into the extra.
Yeah, we've seen some aggressive calls by Team Finland all game today. Two sweepers down on this shot. Very important for Team Japan.
Very nice draw to the top of the four. Like we talked about the center guard being so long, don't think it'll be a problem for Finland to come around and tap these yellows. Looking to maybe even tap them so far. They'll be lying two. It's either that or just tap it a couple of feet and set up a pocket.
A couch.
Yeah. Sweden wins their game against the Netherlands. That should secure them a spot in the playoffs. Seeing how there'll be 2 wins ahead of Austria. Austria only one more game to play. Wrapping up Group C, coming through with Korea and China. In our group, it is Latvia and Hungary already qualified. This game to determine who gets the third spot through. As we take a look at some of the other scores in the A to B center.
We have China beating Poland 9-3. Israel and Korea are still playing the 8th, tied 8-8. Sweden beating the Netherlands 8-2, and Germany trailing to England 8-6. Of course, Finland and Japan are a tight match here on sheet A, with Finland beating Japan 5-4 current length. Very nice shot there by Tomi with the intern tap out or take out.
Japan's been able to manage their time quite well today. A little bit over 2.5 minutes left to play the 2 last rocks, so that shouldn't be an issue. Finland also over a minute left, and I believe the timeout hasn't even been called yet, so they'll have plenty of time for their last shot here. Big sweep from Okusawara. Looks pretty close.
Needs to go.
And just going to get there. Very nice draw to sit 2. What will Finland do? The timeout has been called. And we'll have Joseph Brown make his way down to the ice. With the walking time and the 1 minute timeout, should leave Finland a good 3 minutes here to make a decision.
Semmonenkin tuli mieleen, että periaatteessa osuma tohon, sitten tohon, niin se tulee ton kautta vielä tohon.
Joo, se on totta.
Mut siinä on kyllä niin...
tuleeks tää tänne?
Here is Mr. Brown.
So, any comments?
Yeah, if you can you get to the top one and maybe contact the back one as well?
You mean top red?
Top, well, or yeah, even top yellow, I suppose, but top red to push it in and.
Well, it's possible with soft takeout.
Okay, yeah, I see that the yellow isn't going to contact the other yellow, so top red, yeah. Okay.
this is possible. This might come in.
Yeah.
Or we can make, let's say, an 8 takeout here.
Okay.
8 here or a softer here.
Okay.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Pretty tough line coming in through there for sure.
Is the soft easier?
Yeah.
I don't know. Toi suojahan on aika kaukana, että kyllähän tuosta 8 niin tulee ihan tasan nokkaa, eikö tuu? 9:lläkin pääsee.
Joo, mensin sitä, että se ei saa olla sit tossa
Okay.
nokas.
Thank you.
Niin. No se on joka tapauksessa oltava tarkka heitto, niin kuin eilenkin, että...
Se on totta.
Että.
With Finland's timeout finishing, they are still talking about this shot.
9.
Jep.
9 tohon.
Yeah, just 50 seconds left on the clock. Seems like the shot they will be going for is the short run back. Probably the easiest shot as well, and if it's made, I think it'd be hard for Japan to score there too. So that red stone just next to Ram Tamaki's brush. We're going to hit that onto the yellow, try and stick it for shot stone. Of course, if it rolls out, Japan can just draw for their 2. Pressured shot here. Una Kausta, though, being an experienced player, she's taking her time here, even though there's only 10 seconds left on the clock. She's doing her pre-shot routine. Does have to remove one of the yellows. Japan currently lying 2 for the win. A little bit wide again. A little redirect, I think, off the guard, perhaps.
Yeah.
It definitely looked like it. And that ends up really good for Finland. A little bit fortuitous. I believe just feathering the guard. It's hard to tell from that angle.
Yeah, just making it perfect there. Not touching it the whole way down.
Yeah, definitely is coming off ever so slightly.
Just enough.
And that's a lucky break for Finland. Devastating blow to Japan. You hate to stand behind there looking at the rock coming down thinking we're going to have a shot for the win. And then something like that happens. Well, maybe the stars have aligned for Finland. And question now, with those stones ended up staggered in front as well. Very hard to get to the shot stone.
Plenty of time here on her last.
I believe this has to be a tap. I can't see a draw into the pin for the extra end here. Real tough shot for Ayumi Ogasawara. And this is not curling enough to get there, I think. Just gonna chip off the yellow. Finland steals 1 and takes the game. What a dramatic finish to a very important game for both teams. And with that, Finland will progress to the playoff. Japan is eliminated, and that will mean that Japan will not feature at the Winter Olympic Games next year in Pyeongchang. And they'll have to be happy enough to have both the women's and men's teams participating there. Finland will have a good chance of making it, picking up some points last year, and now a great chance to pick up a few more. Stay tuned for highlights from this very close-fought game, and we'll get a chance to talk to Tommy and Una as our expert, Sarah Anderson, makes her way down to have a chat. Elsewhere, we saw China pick up a win against Poland. Korea stole in the 8th end to beat Israel. Sweden secure their playoff spot with a win over the Netherlands. And England beat Germany 9 shots to 6. As the ice makers again just getting ready for the next session. Teams coming back onto the ice after the halftime break. In the fifth end, it is Una Kausta to make a short angled run. Gets there in the end for the single point. Good shot. 4-2 for Finland after 5 ends of play. In the sixth end, a missed takeout from Una Kausta leaves the draw for 2 for Ayumi Ogasawara. No problems there. Ties the game up at 4 each after 6. In the seventh end, Finland using their power play, trying to get 2 up on the board, but Una Kausta's last shot here, just over curling, catching the top yellow, leaves Finland scoring 1. They will have the lead coming into the 8th end, but Japan with hammer. Una Kausta, all fortunate with her last rock of the end. A redirect off the guard leaves a tough tap for Ogasawara to put the game into an extra. Can't quite get there. Finland steals 1, wins the game 6-4, and secures their spot in the playoffs. We have Tommy and Una with Sarah Anderson.
Congratulations on that win, now qualifying you for playoffs. How does that feel?
It feels really good. It was a really tight game and we had a little bit good luck with the last zone, but I'm happy now.
Saw some hugs there after the game. Now into the playoffs, have the chance to grab those Olympic points. What does that mean for you guys?
Well, that's we are here for, and of course we are happy to have that possibility to gain those points now. So the next game is the most important one for us.
Congratulations again, guys. Good luck in the playoffs.
World Curling TV will take a bit of a break, but we'll be back with maybe the biggest game so far. It's Canada playing USA. 2 very good teams have made some incredible shots this week. So we're expecting fireworks. It's all starting at 2:30 local time here in Lethbridge, Canada. Stay tuned.
It's okay.
We were lucky. We were lucky.
No. Nice job.
Are you fourth in a group?
Yes,
Yeah,
of course.
So maybe you
Yes.
have good luck with that.
You?